Welcome to this step-by-step guide on setting up your own custom AI assistant. Whether you're an entrepreneur, researcher, content creator, or someone just curious about AI, this video will walk you through the entire process, from understanding what a custom GPT is to actually setting one up and using it for practical applications. What are we setting up today? In this video, we'll be setting up a custom GPT using OpenAI's tools. This is a specialized version of ChatGPT that allows you to upload your own knowledge files, customize responses, and tailor the AI's behavior to your specific needs. Our example today is based on the Theological Study Guide GPT, a project designed to help users engage with theological topics using structured guidance and insights. What do you need to get started? Before we dive in, here's what you'll need: a ChatGPT Plus or Pro account. Custom GPTs require a premium plan. A knowledge file, such as a text document with structured information. A computer with internet access. Mobile works, but desktop is ideal for setup. About 10 to 20 minutes of your time to configure everything properly. Now, at this point, you may be wondering, where do you get the knowledge file? How do you prepare your own documents for uploading? This is where Aladdin will step in to walk you through what's needed from a human perspective to set this up efficiently.
Thank you, Aldara, for that introduction. I'm Aladdin Glasgow, and this is MrGlasco.ai. And like Aldara said, today we're going to go over creating your own custom GPT. As she mentioned, you can technically do this on mobile, but you may have to access ChatGPT through your mobile device's web browser and then enable desktop mode. Today we're going to be setting up the Theological Study Guide Custom GPT. It's a fairly simple and straightforward custom GPT. I've included the files linked below, and you can find out more on my blog if you just go there and search for the blog post, Recognizing Your Manna, Are You Overlooking Divine Provision? This originally started out as a ChatGPT project, so if you're not comfortable creating a custom GPT, you can still follow along and just apply the same steps to the project where you upload the knowledge file and the instructions there.
Why would you want a custom AI assistant? AI isn't just for tech companies. It can be an invaluable tool for streamlining research, automating workflows, and enhancing creativity. Some common use cases include writers and content creators using AI for brainstorming and drafting, researchers and students using AI for knowledge retrieval, business owners leveraging AI for customer service and automation, developers and entrepreneurs customizing AI for unique workflows, faith-based studies using AI to organize and interpret theological texts. What is a custom GPT? A custom GPT is a personalized version of ChatGPT that you can train and modify to suit your specific needs. Instead of interacting with a generic AI assistant, you can tailor its responses, knowledge, and behavior. This makes custom GPTs more aligned with how you work, study, or create, whether you're a student, researcher, entrepreneur, or hobbyist. How do custom GPTs work? At a high level, here's what happens when you interact with a custom GPT. You provide input, a question, request, or command. The AI processes your input based on its training and any custom instructions. The AI responds using its knowledge and learned context. What makes custom GPT special is that they allow you to upload custom knowledge files, adjust behavioral settings, e.g., make it formal, casual, or even humorous, specify areas of expertise to keep it focused on certain topics. Why would you want a custom GPT? The power of custom GPTs lies in their flexibility. You can create one to act as a business assistant that helps draft emails, summarize reports, or manage data. Serve as a creative collaborator for brainstorming, storytelling, or script writing. Function as an educational tutor that helps break down complex subjects. Support faith-based or philosophical study, as we've done with the Theological Study Guide GPT. What are the limitations? AI is powerful, but it has limitations. Some important things to remember: it does not inherently understand concepts like a human. It predicts responses based on patterns. It can hallucinate, make up information, especially if it lacks source material or is pressured to provide an answer. It requires human oversight to ensure accuracy and relevance. Now that we've covered what custom GPTs are and why they're useful, Aladdin will share some insights from his own experience in designing custom AI assistants.
So Aldara broke down the basics of how GPTs work. There's an input, there's the AI processing your input, and then there's the response generation. And the most accessible way I can explain how this process actually works is to imagine a kind of shell around the AI processing. And it's not just one shell, it's multiple shells. At its core, you have the raw information and processing power of the AI. Around that, you have its training. Around that, you have the proprietary instructions that are acting as guardrails, which in our case, since we're using ChatGPT as an example, OpenAI's instructions that act as a preventative measure for malicious input and a preventative measure for unintentional harmful output. So what you're doing when you're creating a custom GPT or when you're using a project that has custom instruction and custom files is you're creating yet another shell. So you have to think of your input having to be configured to go through the shell of your custom instructions and files, then go through the shell of OpenAI's guardrails, then going through the shell of the AI's training to reach its raw processing power. So the funny thing about the knowledge file for the Theological study guide custom GPT that I created is that it doesn't actually have any knowledge in it. It's just a file to help the custom GPT recognize when a new thread is being created and where to pick up where the last thread left off. And the instructions themselves are very simple, built on top of what ChatGPT suggested. There was the role specification, primary source reference, contextual analysis, comparative interpretations, practical applications, and continuity. And another thing when it comes to creating the custom files and instructions for these custom GPTs is that there is no shame in using the GPT to create those files and those instructions. You can just ask it directly. What do the instructions for that custom GPT look like? What do the knowledge files for that custom GPT look like? It mixes in with your understanding and your communication. And if there's something that's getting lost in translation, that's kind of on you to figure out. A disclaimer that I think is necessary for me to make here is that your mileage may vary.
Step-by-step setup process. First, log into your ChatGPT account. To access custom GPTs, you'll need a ChatGPT Plus or Pro subscription. At the time of this recording, this feature is not available on free accounts. In the left sidebar, you should see an option labeled Explore GPTs. Click on it. If the interface looks different for you, this may be due to recent updates or account type variations. Aladdin will cover more on this shortly.
You would think that ChatGPT being aware of its own interface would be something simple, but if you really break it down, it's actually really complicated because there's ChatGPT's initial training, which may or may not have included a kind of self-awareness of its layout and functionality. And then on top of that, you have this application of a tiered payment plan system that gives user access to different layers of that functionality. I also think transparency is important because you don't really know what is inside these custom GPTs. Like I said, even OpenAI is not off the hook when it comes to their proprietary instructions on how to make their platform the most useful platform in an arms race of AI that is spanning the entire world.
Creating a new custom GPT. Once in the Explore GPT section, look for the Create a GPT button. Click it. This will open a guided setup process where OpenAI will ask you a few questions to help configure your GPT. You'll have the ability to name your custom GPT, provide an initial description of what it's for, adjust key settings for behavior and response style. If you're not sure how to describe your GPT in the setup, don't worry, you can modify it later. Uploading a knowledge file. To make your GPT specialized, you can upload a custom knowledge file. This is where the Theological study guide or any other structured document comes into play. To do this, locate the Upload File section in the Setup menu, click Browse, and select your prepared text file, format supported .txt, PDF, .x, confirm the upload, and let OpenAI process the document. Keep the file concise and well-structured. Excessive or unformatted data can confuse the GPT rather than improve accuracy. Aladdin will now explain the art of structuring a knowledge file effectively, ensuring it aligns with how GPTs process information and optimizing it for the best results.
So when it comes to creating custom knowledge files, I like to keep it simple and stick to text files. There's something about working in Notepad in particular that is so limiting because I feel like it gets me in the right mindset of distilling the information down to its fundamental elements that I'm trying to impart into the custom GPT in the projects. Another reason why you want to keep it simple is that if you're too lengthy, if you're just dumping files into your custom GPT, you're going to run out of context window. And this is where it comes down to understanding the framework of how your intent get processed by the AI.
Adjusting behavior and response style. Once your knowledge file is uploaded, OpenAI allows you to fine-tune how your custom GPT behaves. You can adjust tone and formality, make it sound more casual, professional, or academic. Response length, short, medium, or detailed explanations. Knowledge depth, whether it should keep answers simple or dive deep into concepts. If you're unsure, start with default settings and tweak later based on how your GPT performs.
So I actually chose to leave some of the mistakes that ChatGPT made here in identifying parts of its own UI as an example of why we need to be vigilant and why it's so important for human oversight to be a part of the implementation of AI.
That's exactly the kind of human-AI collaboration that makes this guide even more valuable. The naming discrepancies and UI variations actually work in our favor, as they serve as live examples of why human oversight is crucial when working with AI. AI is a powerful tool, but not infallible. Applications and use cases. Who can benefit from a custom GPT? One of the biggest advantages of a custom GPT is its ability to adapt to different needs. Whether you're a student, researcher, small business owner, or creative professional, having a personalized AI assistant can make a huge difference. Some of the people who benefit the most from a custom GPT include writers and creators, AI-assisted brainstorming, content generation, and storytelling. Students and researchers, summarizing texts, organizing notes, and answering academic questions. Entrepreneurs and business owners, automating email drafts, analyzing customer feedback, and improving productivity. Developers and IT professionals, building AI-powered tools, or learning new coding techniques. Faith-based and theological study groups, structuring knowledge around sacred texts for guided learning. Now, Aladdin will share a more in-depth look at how custom GPTs can be used practically.
The question, why would you want a custom GPT, is like, why would you want specialized employees in a company that you're creating to get the most out of them in their specialty? I understand that the more I engage with it, the more it reflects who I am. As it learns how to reflect me, I can then specialize that reflection.
Testing and refining your custom GPT. After configuring everything, it's time to test your GPT by asking it a few questions. If responses aren't quite what you expected, you can re-upload a more refined knowledge file, modify its behavior settings, provide feedback within the ChatGPT interface.
If you're like me and you have trouble iterating on the responses that ChatGPT gives you because you kind of feel bad for all that effort that went into its initial response, that you want to honor that as the natural response. Do not be ashamed to tell ChatGPT that something doesn't resonate.
Now that we've covered everything from what a custom GPT is to how to set one up and use it effectively, you should have a solid foundation for creating your own AI assistant. Key takeaways from this guide. Here's a quick summary of what we covered in this video. Understanding custom GPTs, how they work and why they're useful. Step-by-step setup, how to upload knowledge files and fine-tune settings. Real-world applications, how AI can be used for business, learning, and creativity. Best practices and limitations, why human oversight is still crucial for AI. AI is only as valuable as the way we choose to use it, and having a structured, transparent approach makes all the difference. If you found this video helpful, here are your next steps. Try it for yourself. Follow along using the knowledge file and resources linked below. Join the conversation. Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Stay connected. Follow for more AI guides, workshops, and live discussions. We're excited to see how you use AI in your own projects, and we'd love to hear about your experiences. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.